You know I love vitamin C. It's one of my all-time favorite skincare ingredients and I use it every single day. So I have to do a little updated vitamin C serum video and also share how to use it just in case you're new to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Susan Yara. I have been in the beauty industry for 2 decades. I started off as a beauty editor. I now have my own skincare line, and I love talking about skincare education here on this channel and just beauty in general. All right, so if you're new to vitamin C, a few tips. I personally like to use a vitamin C serum in my skincare routine, and that's mostly because you can get vitamin C in different products. You can get it in your cleanser, you can get it in your moisturizer, but I personally think you get more benefits and it's easier to use in a serum form. One of the reasons is because it's more concentrated and it tends to absorb a little bit quicker into your skin. Plus, you can put it closer to your skin than you would with a moisturizer. A couple of other notes, you can use vitamin C in your nighttime skincare routine, and I actually used to use it in my nighttime skincare routine all the time when I was really just trying to get myself used to using retinol and I would have to skip certain nights. Now I'm like a every night use a retinoid kind of person. Some type of retinoid, sometimes it's prescription, sometimes it's over the counter. So I don't really use a vitamin C at night in my skincare routine anymore. That said, I do think you get the most benefit from vitamin C when you use it in your morning skincare routine. When you layer vitamin C underneath your sunscreen every morning, you're actually protecting your skin even more. It makes your sunscreen even more effective because it's also fighting free radical damage that you would potentially get from UV rays. So you're essentially just giving your sunscreen a little army to help it out. Besides fighting free radicals, which is a really big reason to use your vitamin C, you also get a beautiful brightening effect from vitamin C when you use it on a regular basis. It's not going to brighten your skin like an exfoliating ingredient like glycolic acid or really truly get rid of any hyperpigmentation the way like tranexamic acid might do, but it's really an overall great skin brightening ingredient and does help to even out your skin tone. So that's one of the main reasons why I love vitamin C. I happen to be a person who deals with melasma a lot with my skin, which is a form of hyperpigmentation, which means I'm also very, very sensitive to UV rays and the free radical damage that you get from UV rays. So for me, vitamin C is a must-have in my daily skincare routine. But besides brightening your skin and fighting free radical damage, which on their own would be reasons enough for me to use vitamin C on a regular basis, but there have been studies that show that vitamin C can also help to boost collagen. And we talk about collagen a lot. You start to produce less and less collagen over time once you hit the age of 25. That can make you look like you're a little bit older. It can make you look like you've got saggier skin. So for me, if I get a boost of collagen from vitamin C on top of all the other ingredients I'm using, like my retinoids, then I will take it. I will take it. Give it to me. Give me all the collagen, fight all the free radicals, and brighten my skin. Something else to keep in mind about vitamin C is that you will see lots of different vitamin C products on the market. The main vitamin C ingredient that we have the most research on and that we know you will get some results from is L-ascorbic acid, also known as ascorbic acid when you look at the ingredient list sometimes. Ascorbic acid, L-ascorbic acid, this is the main form of vitamin C that we have the most research on. We know that this is the one that you're going to get the most results from, but there are some issues that come with L-ascorbic acid. One of those issues is that it's a very unstable ingredient. So you don't know if the vitamin C product you get is actually going to be effective, because the minute you open a vitamin C serum that has L-ascorbic acid in it is the minute that it starts to go bad. So that's something to keep in mind. It starts to oxidize. And that's across the board with every vitamin C product that you'll purchase that has L-ascorbic acid or ascorbic acid as the main ingredient. It starts to oxidize the minute that you expose it to air. Another issue with L-ascorbic acid is that it's most effective when it's in a formulation that is at a very low pH. Usually a pH of like a 3.5 is probably the most effective, but that makes it pretty acidic, so that can be very irritating to some skin types. So I'll often hear people say that they tried a vitamin C I recommended and it irritated their skin or it made them feel like they were too sensitive. So that tends to happen to a good amount of people. That said, if it doesn't sensitize your skin, L-ascorbic acid is the way to go, as long as you can find a product that is as stable as possible. And it's really just hard to say which of these products is going to remain the most stable. That said, there are things that brands can do to try to ensure the stability of the vitamin C when they formulate and also with the packaging and stuff. So we'll get into all of that when I start to talk about the products. Moving on from L-ascorbic acid though, there are lots of vitamin C derivatives out there. And while some people think that they are just not as good as L-ascorbic acid, the reason for that is there's just not as much research done on the vitamin C derivatives as there is on L-ascorbic acid. That said, some of the benefits of vitamin C derivatives are that they are a little bit more gentle on your skin. You can actually even use them in higher percentages than sometimes L-ascorbic acid because they are so gentle. So you could see a lot quicker benefits from it when it is at a higher percentage. They're also easier to formulate with lots of other different ingredients. So you can find it sometimes in tons of different products, and you can layer the different vitamin C derivatives without usually having to worry about irritation or sensitivity on your skin. But the main benefit of vitamin C derivatives is that they remain more stable. Whereas with L-ascorbic acid, you know that it's unstable and that it can oxidize pretty quickly. Your vitamin C derivatives are much more stable and much more likely to last longer. All right, so let's get into my favorite vitamin C serum, starting with the OG and the vitamin C serum that really got me into using vitamin C in the first place, and that is the SkinCeuticals C E Ferulic. If you haven't used this SkinCeuticals vitamin C, it has 15% L-ascorbic acid, which is the vitamin C that I was telling you about in the beginning. It is the original, it's the one with the most studies around it, and it's because of this SkinCeuticals serum that we have a lot of this information. They formulated it with vitamin E, which is also another antioxidant and skin conditioning ingredient, and also ferulic acid, which is also a very strong antioxidant. Those two ingredients help to fight free radical damage as well, but truly their main purpose is that they maintain the stability of the L-ascorbic acid. That vitamin C is a little bit expensive. It's like $166 for essentially an ounce of it. I do find that it lasts a good amount of time because it's a very liquidy type of serum, so you don't really feel like you need a lot of it. You just put it in your hand, you pat it onto your skin, and you are good to go. They have truly perfected this formulation. And like I said, you're essentially paying for a lot of their clinical studies, and there's a reason why dermatologists recommend this specific serum when it comes to vitamin C. What people don't realize is that there are other formulations from SkinCeuticals that are very similar to the original C E Ferulic, but they serve different purposes. One of them is their newest vitamin C serum. It's called Silymarin CF, and it's a salicylic acid acne treatment. And this one is really cool. It has 15% L-ascorbic acid, and it's very similar in texture to the original C E Ferulic. It even has that ferulic acid hot dog water smell that people talk about. And it also comes in the classic amber bottle that all the SkinCeuticals vitamin C serums come in. This is another way that the brand ensures that it stays as stable as possible, because this amber glass helps to protect it from, I guess, like UV exposure and stuff too. I personally think that all the vitamin C serums from SkinCeuticals can pretty much be used by all skin types. But this one, they happen to focus more so on people that have acne-prone skin. I don't personally think you have to have acne-prone skin to get a lot of benefits from this. It's very gentle. There's only about 0.5% salicylic acid in here, so it's also something that you can use on a daily basis. Salicylic acid is really great for acne-prone skin and if you have clogged pores, but the reason why I think this is great for all skin types is because salicylic acid helps to prep your skin, especially when it comes to L-ascorbic acid. It actually helps it absorb into your skin a little bit better. So in my opinion, you would get more benefits from the L-ascorbic acid by using this product. The other reason why I think it's interesting is because it has that 0.5% silymarin. And while I don't know too many studies about this, from what I have read about it, it's really interesting because if you're a person that tends to get blackheads, this might be a really interesting ingredient for you because it helps to stop the oxidation of oil. And that's exactly what a blackhead is. Blackheads are the oil coming up in the surface of your skin through your pore, and when it hits the air, it oxidizes and turns it black. So that's what you're seeing when you look at blackheads, and the silymarin is supposed to help stop the oxidation. That said, SkinCeuticals doesn't claim that this helps to stop blackheads, so don't start to message them or anything like that. You know, what they really focus on is that it helps just in general to stop that inflammation that causes your acne. So either way, this is a really great formulation. I have seen great benefits from it. It's very brightening to the skin, and it just helps to clear your skin completely. Moving on to this one, this is the SkinCeuticals serum that I tend to use the most. This is their Phloretin CF. This one is made for people like me who have melasma. They have ascorbic acid in here at a little bit of a lower percentage than the other two that I talked about. This is at 10%, which is still actually a pretty high percentage of vitamin C. It also has ferulic acid. We know again that ferulic acid is great to keep L-ascorbic acid more stable, but then this has 2% Phloretin in it. If you don't know about Phloretin, it is also an antioxidant, but it's great for people like me who have hyperpigmentation or melasma because it helps to just overall brighten your skin and really target the dark marks. So I tend to like this one a lot. This is the one that I go to the most, and it's just a little bit more gentle too. Again, it has that classic vitamin C serum look, just like the original CE Ferulic from SkinCeuticals. Again, the SkinCeuticals vitamin C serums are pretty expensive. They're $166 for a 1 ounce bottle. These are actually PR samples that I received from SkinCeuticals, so the bottles are actually a little bit bigger than this. Next up is this Roche-Posay Vitamin C Serum. The reason why I want to point this one out is not because it's one of my favorites, but if you are interested in the SkinCeuticals Silymarin Vitamin C Serum, but you can't justify $166, which I totally understand, then this one is pretty interesting to take a look at because they have 10% L-ascorbic acid in here. So it's a little bit less than the L-ascorbic acid in the SkinCeuticals, but it also has salicylic acid in here, which again, really helps to prep your pores for the L-ascorbic acid and can also really help to clear your skin. This one also feels a little bit thicker in my opinion. It doesn't have that watery texture to it. It has glycerin in it to really help to hydrate your skin. So in my opinion, this one is a combination of a vitamin C treatment, but also a hydrating serum for your skin. Something else I want to point out is that La Roche-Posay is owned by the same parent company as SkinCeuticals. So while I realize they are completely separate teams, completely separate brands and companies, there's no doubt that they're probably sharing some sort of resources or at the very least some information. This vitamin C serum is also $40, which is a huge price difference from the SkinCeuticals at $166. So if you want to get started on a vitamin C serum and not break the bank, this one might be the way to go. But for those who look for fragrance-free, this does have a pretty strong fragrance in it. They do mention that it is allergy tested and should be totally fine, but still, I know that some people just completely avoid fragrance. Next up, of course, I'm going to mention my brand Naturium Vitamin C Complex Serum. In my opinion, this is one of the best vitamin C serums on the market, and it's especially great for people who are just getting started on vitamin C. In this formula, we have L-ascorbic acid, but we also have a vitamin C derivative called sodium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a really nice vitamin C derivative that is very gentle on the skin. But we also have a fruit extract blend in here, which includes ingredients like papaya extract and pineapple extract, which we know are really good for very gently exfoliating the skin and brightening the skin. Because we know that L-ascorbic acid can be so unstable to formulate with and to use on your skin, we actually decided to conjugate our L-ascorbic acid with gold and glutathione, which makes it very, very interesting. We're not the only brand to do this. It's a little bit of a newer technology, and it's not that crazy of a concept in my opinion, but what makes it really interesting is that the gold and the glutathione help to essentially keep the L-ascorbic acid a lot more stable, and that's partially because it's encapsulating it. But then there are also two other benefits to this conjugation. You heard me say that people complain sometimes that vitamin C serums can be very irritating for their skin because of that low pH, that pH of 3.5 that you basically get with any L-ascorbic acid serum because it's the most effective pH for L-ascorbic acid. We don't have to worry about that with this formulation. We actually set it at a pH that's very comfortable for your skin and very nourishing for your skin. The pH doesn't matter in this formula because the L-ascorbic acid lives very separately from the overall formulation. So it kind of gets to live in its own little capsule essentially. That's the way you should think of it. The second thing that makes it really interesting, and also another reason why the pH does not matter about this formulation, is that the conjugation makes it so that the L-ascorbic acid doesn't actually break open until it reaches your skin and actually penetrates your skin. So you basically get better absorption of the L-ascorbic acid from this conjugation, and you're not worrying about that overall irritation. So we're basically saying that the L-ascorbic acid is really going to be beneficial in this serum. But not just that, we made this a very hydrating serum. So it has hyaluronic acid in it, it has vitamin E in it. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like to have an elaborate morning skincare routine, this is a really great serum to get lots of benefits from because you're gonna get the hydration, you'll get the antioxidant and brightening power and the free radical fighting power all in one. Next up are the Vichy Peptide-C Ampoules. I have talked about these before. I still really love them. I think they're just a really great concept for people who have not committed to vitamin C yet. And the reason for that is because you basically pop this box open and then you pull out the different ampoules that contain the vitamin C. So you essentially get 10 of these little glass ampoules filled with the vitamin C serum in them. The reason why that's very interesting to me is because, again, I've talked about how L-ascorbic acid is really hard to keep stable. So this is one of the ways that they try to ensure the stability of the L-ascorbic acid, and that is to just package it in separate little ampules like this. It is, again, the amber glass that helps to also maintain the stability. And what you do is you essentially take a piece of cotton or a tissue and you pop open the top of the ampule, and then it comes with a little plastic applicator that you pop onto it. It has a little cap on it too. And once these ampules are open, they last for about 24 to 36 hours. So essentially, once you pop that little cap onto it, you have about 48 hours to use up one ampule. So that gives you about 3 to 4 uses, depending on if you use it at night as well. I get about 3 uses from this personally. It's a very liquidy type of serum. It's really, really hydrating, and it also has, you know, like the Vichy volcanic water and stuff too, so it's very soothing for the skin. So I personally think this is a really great product. You're getting the stability of the L-ascorbic acid. It's very, very hydrating for the skin, and I also personally love peptides. This happens to have phytopeptides, which are really just hydrating for the skin and plump up your skin, and it makes it feel like your skin is a little bit firmer because it is so hydrating. Phytopeptides are shorter fragment peptides, which essentially means that they are kind of like a smaller molecular structure, so they penetrate a little bit deeper into your skin. Kind of like when you think about hyaluronic acid, whenever you hear people say it's a smaller molecule and it penetrates deeper, it's the same thing with these peptides. And last on my list is this Kora Organics Noni Fruit Vitamin C Serum. I was really surprised to find out how much I love this serum. Of all the Kora Organics products, I'd say this is probably my favorite product. This one has a little bit of ascorbic acid in it, but truly the main vitamin C ingredient in here is a vitamin C derivative called ascorbyl glucoside. This makes it feel like it's a lot more gentle on the skin, but then it also has a fruit extract blend in here. A couple of those fruit extracts are also fermented ingredients, and fermentation has become a really big deal to me. I'm starting to realize how much I love it just across the board when it comes to skincare products. Fermentation basically supercharges your skincare ingredients and makes them more effective on your skin. It boosts the antioxidant power of these ingredients. It helps boost the penetration of these ingredients, and it also just makes them feel nicer on your skin. So I've been very interested in products that have fermented ingredients, and this one has a couple of them. In my opinion, one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it does feel so nice on the skin. It's truly, truly hydrating. Every time I put it on, my skin looks dewy and glowy and just feels really, really nice, especially underneath moisturizer. I do want to point out, because I think sometimes people see ingredient lists that have lots of different fruit extracts on them and think this must be a really irritating product for the skin. But I want to point out that fruit extracts are a lot different than essential oils. Fruit extracts are a little bit more gentle. They're usually stabilized. Essential oils are also pretty stabilized across the board, especially depending on the quality of the brand and the name of the brand. You can really get essential oils that are also nice for the skin as well. But this one is mostly fruit extracts, and they should not be irritating to the skin. They can be, but they're mostly gentle for the skin. So those are some of my vitamin C tips, and of course some of my favorite vitamin C serums right now. If you have any questions, obviously ask me in the comments below. You can also share your favorite vitamin C. If you've used any of these, let me know. How about that Naturium one? Who's loving it? I know I love it. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm at Susan Yara, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.